Today, guys, we're going to be looking at solving a real-world multi-step equation. So right here we have person 1, and over here we have person 2. Now it says they're set equal to each other, so I'll give you a little story to explain what's going on. So person 1 and person 2, it's Friday, they just got paid. All right, so it's the end of the week, they got paid. Both of them got paid the exact same amount. So the amount of money they have right now, leaving work, is the exact same. Okay, that's why it's equal. Okay, what this person has in money is the exact same as the amount of money this person has over here. Now, new gaming console just came out. It was just released on this Friday when they got paid. So of course they leave work, they wanted to go buy a couple of these game consoles before they sold out at the store. So obviously, person 1 got there first and was able to buy 4 gaming consoles with the amount of money they had from their paycheck. Person 2 got there a little later and there were only 2 consoles left, so they bought the last 2, but they ended up with more money left over because they didn't buy as many consoles. So to write the equation to represent this, we could say, okay, consoles, we don't know how much those cost. So the consoles, this person had 4, so we can say they got 4 gaming systems, and they were left over with an extra $20. Okay, so the total cost of the gaming systems for these 4 plus $20 was this person's total paycheck. Now person 2, they should have the same total money whenever you add up the money it costs to buy the 2 consoles plus the money they have left over. Well, they had 2 consoles, so 2x, okay, and then they had leftover, a leftover amount of $818. Okay, so just plus 818 because that's how much they had in cash. So the cash is being represented as our constants, the 818 and the 20. They don't have a variable attached. We know how much it's worth. We could have just counted up the money. But maybe we didn't know how much the consoles were being sold for. So that's what we're going to figure out. How much is each console worth if we have this equation down here? So to do that, what we need to do first is we need to get all of our variables on one side and all of our constants on the other. So all the consoles we need to move on one side, and then we need to get all of the variables, all the constants, all the money on the other side. So to do that first, I'm going to get all the money to go over to the opposite side. So I want all the money on the right. So I want all my money on this side. And I want all my consoles over on the left. So I want to have them split up, right? So first of all, here's a console. There's a console. Well, technically here's 4 of them, and here's 2 of them. We wanted them on the left. So to get it over there, I would take away 2 from person 2. Okay, so if I take away his 2, then I also need to be fair and take away 2 of person 1's 2. Otherwise, they won't be equal. If I just take 2 away from person 2, now their total amount of money they have with consoles and money and cash would be less. So if I do it to one person, it's only fair if I do it to the other to keep them equal. So that took away these 2, and I took away 2 over here. So person 1 is now left with 2 consoles, while person 2 now has 0. Now to get the money on the other side, okay, to get the cash to all be on the other side, we can say, okay, well, let's take away the cash from person 1. So they had 20, so we're going to take that away from them. And again, if we take away 20 bucks from person 1, then we need to be fair and take away 20 bucks from person 2, right? Because again, you got to stay fair. So 20 minus 20, had none left. 818 minus 20 leaves us with 798. So now we have 2 consoles are equal to the price of $798. All right, so person 1 is currently left with 2 consoles, person 2 has $798, and this is said to be the exact same amount. So we need to know how much is each console worth. And so if we were to split them up, let's say we split them up, 1 console here, 1 console here. Okay, so we have 2 even groups of consoles. Now over here on the right side, $798. Well, we need to split this up evenly into 2 separate groups. So 798 divided by 2 would give us 399, which then tells us each console cost $399. Okay, and there you go. There's a way to find the solution to a real-world multi-step equation. So you can always think of that whenever you have an equation, guys. You can use this idea. Instead of X, you have a console. Instead of M, you have a console or a TV or dresses or shoes or hats. Okay, ice cream cones, whatever you want to change it into. It's your choice. Make it into something that you can understand what it is and not just a letter or a variable or a shape. So let's say we had 3x minus 6 equals 4 parentheses x minus 1, and we try to solve this one now. Okay, so my variables are my x's, so I want to get all the x's onto the left side, and I want to get all my, let me move this back, and I want to get all my numbers or all my constants onto the right side. So if it doesn't have a variable, I want it on this right side of the line. If it has a variable attached to it, I want it on the left side. Okay, so here's what I can do. Here's a variable right here. Now over here on the right side, we have parentheses. Now I need to get rid of those parentheses before I can take anything. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute to get rid of parentheses. So 4 times x results in 4x. 4 times minus 1, or 4 times negative 1, will give me a negative 4, which now becomes 4x minus 4. Now when I look at the two sides, 3x minus 6 equals 4x minus 4, I say, okay, well, I've got a variable here on the left and a variable here on the right. But I wanted all my x's on the left side. Well, the 3x is already there, so I'm just going to bring it down. It stays the same because it's on the same side of where I wanted it. The 4x is on the opposite side. So to move it across to the left, I'm moving it across the middle, and when it goes across that middle line, across the equals, then it's going to become the opposite. So instead of positive 4x, we're going to get a negative 4x, which now becomes minus 4x since it has a value in front of the dash. It's a minus sign. So I've used these two, I'm going to cross them out. And then to get my constants on the other side, I need to get this to the opposite. So the opposite of minus 6 would be positive 6. So I can cross that out. And then instead of minus 4 here, well, I don't have to change it because it's on the same side. So it keeps the same sign. Stays minus 4, and I used it. So now I just go and I combine like terms. 3x's minus 4x's, or 3 minus 4, would give me a negative 1. And this is my x side, so the variable stays x. And then we get positive 6 minus 4. So 6 minus 4 gives me a positive 2. Now we can't stop yet because we want x to be a positive x by itself. Positive 1x. Right now it's a negative 1x. That negative 1 is multiplying times the x. So again, to get that on the other side, on the opposite side, we do the opposite. So instead of multiplying times negative 1, we're going to divide by negative 1. So negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1. So we have positive x equals 2 divided by negative 1, which gives us a negative 2. So x equals negative 2, following the same steps as what we did before with our real world situation. Same steps to find our answers. Now, the code that you're going to need for class, guys, to get credit for watching this video, one of the words you're going to type in is going to be algebra. Okay, so write that code down. Make sure you turn it into the text box on the assignment to get credit for watching this video. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.